Okay, we're live. James Vidic speaking, trainingsites.io. Had a couple goes at this video, but hopefully we'll get all the way through it today because this is a 3-prompt course I'm going to share with you. It's one that I did yesterday, and I've actually done a little bit more work on explaining it, and that's what I'm going to do in this particular video. Should take about 10 or 12 minutes. What I did is I created a course with 3 prompts yesterday. Total took me about 45 minutes of work, and it's actually available for you now if you go to trainingsites.io/join, which is my community, my learning campus. I've actually created the course there so that you have access to it. So, what is this course about? Well, it's a course that I created about how to use Fluent Boards, which is a project management tool, when you're creating courses and YouTube videos. Now, you're probably going, well, why did I create a course about creating a course? Well, that's one of the things that I highly recommend is to capture what you're doing while you're doing it, to be able to show some of the assets that you have during your ongoing parts of work and be able to turn them into courses or course content. And that's exactly what I did in this particular case. Now, if you're not familiar with Fluent Boards, what it's for and how it works, I'll show you right now kind of what it is and how you use it in an education business or course content basis. Now, just to give you an example, we'll look back at my screen again. trainingsites.io/join. I have all of my courses, all of my video content, all of my prompts, everything's in here in the community. You can ask questions every Wednesday. We have a live stream call, which is tomorrow on YouTube, but I have a lot of content. Everything's about starting, building, and growing an education business. And sometimes what comes up is I get asked questions from clients that we're working with and or people here in the campus and things like, well, how do you keep track of the YouTube videos that you're creating? Or how do you organize your courses when you're creating the actual courses? And to do that, we use a tool called Fluent Boards. And Fluent Boards is a basic project management tool. I wouldn't say it's an advanced one, but just to give you an idea of how this particular one works, it's a traditional project management tool. In this particular case, this project board is called YouTube videos. And these are all of the things that we do when we're creating YouTube videos. And this one project called YouTube videos has some stages, which are the up and down columns here. And each of the stages has a task card. And the way this works is when you start here, you're going to move stuff over to the next stage as it gets worked on and completed. So this is one that we set up and we include it in all of our packages for people who are paid members of the community. They get access to this particular tool. And in the case we were just doing, we had someone that wasn't really familiar with how to use this stuff. And they were someone within a small business. And they said, you know what, can you do like a little video or tutorial on how to use this for someone who's just getting started? And I didn't have one in our campus. It wasn't here in the particular list of the courses that we have. So I thought, hey, we better put a course in. So I'm going to guide you through the actual process that I did to create the course that I'm going to show you we got posted here. So 2 birds with 1 stone again. And again, I used 3 prompts, which I'm going to include for you, to actually create the complete course. And that's all that it takes. And the reason that this is really important is that like right now, when I'm doing this, 2025, 1st of April, not April Fool's Day, but it is 1st of April. There is so much happening in the world of AI that the ability to create valuable course content that is curated to teach, answer questions, or guide someone to a specific outcome, that ability or playing field is very level now. I'm showing you how to do it in 3 prompts. Now, you may think, oh, I'm down on courses. I'm not a big fan of courses. I absolutely am a huge fan of courses. I think you should be creating as many possible courses as you can, as quickly as you can. What I don't think you should be doing is charging for those courses. You should be giving them away free on your own learning platform and monetizing your community in ways other than charging them for content, which is basically free for everyone. And right now, 1st of April, we have a quarter into 2025. everything has changed in the last 3 months. If it's 6 months from now, um, creating courses is not going to be that hard. Anyone's going to be able to do it. So you have to have some kind of platform to actually be able to monetize and organize all of that content in a way that helps your community. That's what these learning platforms are about. That's what building a campus is about. So I got off on a bit of a sidetrack there, but let's actually look at the prompts and the steps that we go through and then the actual way that this works. So in a nutshell, this is exactly what I've done. And I'll just do my little handy pencil here, my video pencil, and see if we can get it up and running. Just give me a second there. And there we go. Okay, got my pencil going here. Let's open it up and see what we got. Make sure we're scribbling. Perfect. Okay. So this is basically the three-step process. And I'm going to show it to you, and I'm going to show the exact prompts. But if you want a course or an organized curation of content that promises an outcome or answers questions that your community or students have, this is basically the simple process. So what we're going to do first is we're going to go and actually get and I try not to talk when I'm writing because a video pencil will try and automatically put the text in if I'm talking. So we're going to do a prompt to get an outline of what the finished course will look like. So I'm going to show you a prompt that'll give us everything that we need in the course. And when the course is finished, this is kind of the framework, the style, the structure, the type of language, the level of detailed. This basic first prompt is like giving you the big picture, okay? The second one is we're going to do some deep research. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go to ChatGPT Deep Research, and I'm going to say, look, I'm doing a course on this, and I want it to follow this particular outline from the first task or the first prompt. And then what I want you to do is I want you to go and do all sorts of research on all of the available information about this particular topic or this particular idea or question that we're answering. So I'm going to go, in this case, I was asking it to do a particular project. I said, go to the vendor's documents, go everywhere that you can, search everywhere that you can for information, and give me back a super, super detailed report on everything I would need to know about creating a course that meets the requirements of the first step. And in mine, the outline I did with ChatGPT, and also the second one, the deep research, I did with ChatGPT. So those are the two ones that I used. I used the deep research because I like it. It works really well. And I just happened to be in ChatGPT when I was creating the outline. The prompts that I'm going to give you will actually work with any of them. So this was one, this was two, and three. I just said create the course, and I gave that particular one to Claude. And these are the actual prompts that I gave. And again, I have these here for you. These are yours to have, but I'll show you those particular prompts, and then we'll run through and see how they actually work. And I'll open this up so that you actually get a chance to see it. And this is the steps that we're going to go through. Let me make sure I got this opened up here, and I'll try and do it so that a little bit bigger for you so you can see it. And again, these are all in the library for you, so you have access to these ones. So hopefully you'll be able to see this. So this is the course planning prompt, task number one. And it basically says, I want you to create a full online course for solopreneurs and entrepreneurs who are new to project management. The goal is to teach them how to use Fluent Boards software to set up, organize, and manage their online education business. Please help me plan a complete course outline that includes, and it's got a list of things here. So basically what I'm doing is I'm saying, look, I'm going to do a course on this topic, create everything that I would need in that course to be able to teach these people this outcome. And the reason that I'm doing this is I want to know what the finished course is going to be like. Now, I'm doing this particular one on Fluent Boards, and Fluent Boards is that project management tool that we had with all of the different steps that I was talking about. So that one's there. Just make sure I'm in the right place here. So we got Fluence Boards, that's the tool. It doesn't have to be that tool. If you were working on anything, you're going to do the exact same thing, and this prompt will still work if we just put in that little bit of the description at the start. So who's it for? What's the goal? And basically fill in the important pieces there. And these 10 pieces have nothing to do with Fluent Boards. They're all about the structure of the actual course content that's getting created. Okay. And I also put it, this is a focus is on helping students simplify their work. Obviously, you would change this and update it as well for you. So that's the first prompt. That's what happens. And what do we get from that? Well, let's go take a look at what we came up with. So here's one that I generated using that exact prompt. And we'll open this one up a little bit. Hopefully you'll be able to see it. So this one basically says title, came up with a title, Fluent Boards for Beginners, Organize and Grow Your Online Education Business. It's got the audience, the learning goals, the course modules and lessons, and it broke it down. It's got available downloads, all sorts of stuff that are available here, but it's basically laid out the course into 6 modules, and some of them have additional things, and then some suggestions for bonus content. So it's got that put together, which is great. And I'm going, okay, well, I know what the course is. What do I need to do now? Well, the next thing that we need to do is to be able to go and say, well, we've got that content of an outcome. What we need to do now is take that instruction and give it to ChatGPT and ask it to do deep research. Now, the reason we do that is, again, we're collecting all that information, and that research is the foundation of what the course is built on. Now, sometimes people say, well, can't be very authentic, or it's not your expertise in this particular course if it's using all of this additional resource material to create the course content. And the answer to that is, yeah, that's true. And the thing is that when we generate this content, the content should be pretty accurate, but it's still up to you to clarify and or expand on the content that you get back. And depending on the actual course contents or purpose, you may not need that much of you in it other than your ability to curate it and organize it in a way that gets the outcome that you're promising because you have that experience to do that. Now, in terms of business models, my big my big push here is that this content or course content is supplemental to you as the expert that can provide guidance and mentoring as to how it should be applied. And again, that's time for another discussion on other videos. But this second one is the solid foundation. And we get back an awful lot of content here from ChatGPT when it does the research. And just to give you an idea on this one, I did this up as a document, and this one right now is 53 pages, and you can see the size of the type. It's 53 pages, and if I go on the left-hand side here, you can see that it's got all of these particular areas, course buyer profiles, how to set up, examples, best practices, how to delegate, how to set. So it's covered and organized all of the research material for me. I don't have to do that. Normally, if I was creating a course, I'd have to be involved and do all of this stuff. It's not necessary or required because I just gave it to ChatGPT to actually do the work. And it did a lot of the work. And in fact, that 53-page document, that particular piece took, in our case, let me just scroll down for a second just to show you how much work went into this for ChatGPT. I think it was 18 or 19 minutes. I don't know where the actual page is now with the number, but it was 18 or 19 minutes of work to actually get to that point. So we have the course structure and outline we want. We've got all of the deep research. What do we need to do now? Well, what we're going to need to do now is go and generate the actual course prompt. So I use Claude for creating course content. The reason I do is because it just does output that seems far more natural and lifelike. And the language that it uses seems in a tone that would be more appropriate for a person and not a piece of equipment. So here's the actual prompt that we have. I've created a course outline and a research document on using Fluent Boards to organize and manage an online education business. The course is for same people we've been talking about. And then it says here what I need. I need the full lesson scripts for each module and lesson in the course outline. And for each lesson, we've got introduction, teaching points, step-by-step instructions, visual cues or slide ideas, sample examples and analogies, and a next step for the other one. Each one should have a short overview at the start, include suggestions for downloads, and keep it focused and make it easy and straightforward. And again, you can do any of these particular pieces and adjust them based on what it is that you want. But here's just an example of how to get started. So this case, pretty simple. All that I do is I go back and I open up my account from, in this case, we'll do a simple one at the start, which is Claude, and hopefully I can go right to the top here and we'll see what I did is, there we go. So at the top of the page here, all that I did is I took the two documents that I had from step 1 and step 2, and I attached them to the chat that I'm in. From there, I used that prompt that we just went over, and I put the prompt in, let it know that I attached the documents, and all I did is hit enter, and I've now got the entire course is done for me based on the requirements that I've given it. So that's the three-step process. Have an AI tool, create the outline and the outcome and the organization of the course, have ChatGPT do all the deep research, all of the resources, all of the stuff external of you. And again, you could have added your own content as well to that, stuff that you've done in the past for your flavor on it. I just did it because I needed a course on a piece of software that I use, but I didn't have any reference materials other than the way that I've used it personally. But if you had PDF documents that you've created or examples that you've used or templates that you've used, you could have included that in the work that was done in the deep research. And once that document was created, the deep research document, all I did is I went to Claude and said, hey, create the darn course. We now have a course. What's after this? Well, in my case, I want to put it into the training sites community, right? So I'm going to go and I'm going to go take a look at my courses here. And again, I've opened up the screen a little bit. In my case, what I need to do is I'm going to add a new course. So let's go and add a new course. And again, this would be put into any platform that you have. My big thing here is the platform here at trainingsites.io. This is a learning campus. This is a place, again, it's about helping people start, build, and grow their education business. So we have courses, tutorials, classes, discussions, live events. So this is all about being able to understand all the things that are involved in building your own education business, but also helping you with the content, the do-it-yourself content, the done with you services that we offer, and the done for you services. And Fluent Boards is one of the uh, uh, bonuses of being a paid member is you get access to that particular tool. In this case, I wanted to have a course for it, and that's how I've created it. And it's a simple course. We're not doing quizzes. We're not doing gamification. It is a simple, structured piece of content that is appropriate for the people that I'm trying to help. So I'm going to click New Course. I'm going to get the simple little screen to get started. And what's the course title? Well, let's go take a look at what we called it here. And it was called, we'll just put it in, Module 1. Where's the actual course name at the bottom? I think I put it at the bottom. And we're there. We should get it. Come on, where'd it go? Got a big course. It was created again, maybe 10 minutes to actually get it done. Scrolling to the bottom. Sorry about this. And final review. And actually, it's good that I get down here anyways at the bottom. So here's the actual thing. What I did is I said, give me the actual listing of particular lessons and courses. So we're going to call it Fluid Board for Beginners. And for me, I'm going to go and call it Fluent Boards for Beginners. And I'm not going to put this particular one. I'm just going to call it Fluent Boards for Beginners. And this is Fluent Community that I'm actually using. And I want to put a little bit of an icon here and not a color. So I'm just going to do, we'll do one like organize. There we go. So we got a little file folders there. That one's good. And slug, I'm just going to have it, we'll leave it blank for here. And then a short description. And all I did is I said, you know, you finished this course, Claude, why don't you just give me a short 1 or 2 sentence to do it? And it created this one here. So I'm going to copy that and we'll go back and add it to the course description that's there. And on my case, it's public. Okay. No charge for it. I'm going to leave it out of a menu group right now. It's self-paced. I'm going to put published. I want people to be able to comment on it, and I haven't put an image in yet. So I'm just going to click create. And I now have a course that's started. And in my case, I got to start adding some content. So this is exactly what I do when I'm creating or adding a course. And again, this is drop dead simple to do. And a course on using Fluent Community is actually in the actual courses that are there. But in my case, I'm just going to go back to my sections here just so that you can see it because I have all the lessons and modules here. So the first one is getting started with Fluent Boards. So we'll just add that one. And in my case, I'm just going to go and add a lesson because that's a module. I want to add a lesson. So the first lesson that we had was what you'll learn. And you can see what happens. We just start putting the content in. So again, you can create these courses quickly. For me to basically run those 3 prompts and then be able to cut and paste the content in, took about 45 minutes to do the last one that I did. And it's 3 prompts to get started and you're away to the races with content that's important for the people in your campus and in your community. Now, one of the things that comes up in this is when people are talking about it, this course does not have any video and it does not have any images. Now, I'm going to address that specifically, and I also have some other videos to show you, but there's 2 things that we could have done to make it a lot easier to actually create images. Now, the one is I've actually done a video called napkin.ai, and what napkin.ai does, and again, I'll put the links to the videos here, but it would allow us, for example, to go and take these, 5 pieces of text here, for example, here. Basically, I could bring that into Napkin and it would create an infographic based on those 10 pieces. So that's one way of doing it. The other thing is if you wanted a video script, if you wanted to do a video, you could have just requested it to output the course and it would have included it. I didn't ask for that, but what I did ask for is here we go right here. So if you look what it says, visual cues and slide ideas. So it actually came up with some here because that's what I asked for. So, if you wanted more detail on those, you certainly could have done it. What I did is on the first lesson, just to show you how this works, is we've got workshop analogy with different specialized tools as a slide, a visual cue. What kind of did is just in behind the scenes, I played around. I said, wouldn't it be great if we actually used ChatGPT new image feature to do that? And the slide that was suggested on the first course was create a slide image of a person juggling multiple balls labeled content, students, marketing, and support. And I put this text in and ChatGPT came up with this particular image. I did another one that said, in this particular case, and I'm going to show you, it's not perfect. It did a spelling mistake here. The other ones, the spelling was fine. So I tried it again and I said, create a photorealistic of a similar person with a Fluent Boards dashboard open, looking relaxed and organized, holding a stack of balls labeled content, students, marketing, support, which all have green check marks indicated completion. So we now got another image here. So I asked for these images just in ChatGPT. I could have pasted them in each of the lessons. If I'd asked for more specific text to create images, I could have done that as well. Or I could have just used something like napkin.ai to actually go and paste in infographics for each one. Either way, you've got a text course, you've got a good solid bit of information that's available to help out, to add to your content in your library of information that's curated to help people do what it is that you're teaching people to do. So if you want to learn a little bit more about how to apply this and actually work on them, please make sure to go visit trainingsites.io/join. I'd love to have you in the community answer any questions about this. I've included the course on Fluent Boards. I've included the course on 3-prompt courses, and all of the prompts that we talked about today are available for you as well. My name is James Madukes, trainingsites.io. Make sure to like and subscribe to the channel, and I'll be back tomorrow or maybe later today with another great video to help you start, build, and grow your education business.